So we continue to make some progress. This weekend was decent. So now I have the elevations set for the most part. This will still need some work. Also now attached very solid are the upper parts of the table base. And you can see I've started laying out a track plan. Initially, I thought about doing dual tracks for like a high-speed run across here, but I've somewhat changed my mind. But you can see the basic layout with a single track in the front, kind of taking advantage of some terrain features and scenery. And then the back two tracks all run dual, and they'll simply just to move trains back and forth and kind of be behind the scenes. I'll give them some pizzazz with a little terrain and whatnot, but it'll be pretty basic. Again, this will be a culvert scene in here with kind of a marshy swampland. I've been looking at some rocks to use in there. This is going to be kind of a sharp drop rock face down to a little stream that's going to be in here. What I've got pictured there in the back with our cardboard is going to be the rock face, kind of a low ridge of kind of sandstone or limestone rock that you would see around south central Wisconsin or central Wisconsin. I've kind of got the bridge rigged up. I'm going to do this particular feature caused me to go from a dual track in the front rather, to a single track, just for that, and just kind of have a neat scene as it meanders through this part of the model. Over here, you can see I got to the edge to where the river is going to be, and ran out of styrofoam and need to go get some more of that. And then, of course, finish this side to make somewhat of a natural bank. It'll be a little bit steep, but we'll work with it. It'll be okay. I also have this part of the table set up. You can see I just have little 4-inch 2x4s underneath there. And when it's all done, I will attach it like this one. That's totally solid now. It's not going anywhere. And it still allows me to run wire underneath and so forth. I did add the fascia here on the front. Obviously, I have some more work to do here with some of the stuff, but that'll just make a nice clean edge as we transition kind of from scene to scene or whatnot. My end of route table is still my workbench, and it's working out great. I'm going to add on a foot or two on each side just to ease the turn radiuses on some of that, so more on that later. The household also has, fortunately or unfortunately, come into a lot of IKEA furniture lately. And in that packaging were these really cool blocks, used to protect the goods that are inside. I grabbed them. I thought that would be a great base for some of the plasterboard train models I'm making. So why not use it up and kind of reuse and recycle and all that? That are going to be use those for the base of those particular elevations I've made. One's is kind of a low hill, and the other one is the rock outcropping. That's going to be for here, now represented simply by the cardboard. So some progress this weekend. Not enough. I'd love to have gotten some paint down, but that's not going to happen. My next thing is to try and find some ceiling tile. Ceiling tile is used to keep the noise down on the wood as the trains roll back and forth and absorb some of that, because obviously ceiling tile is made to absorb sound, so that should work well, and it'll provide some elevation and relief as well. I have a challenge here to add some terrain here. I'm going to have to bring up the grade on the rails that run through here, and then just gradually bring them up to some of the elevation here, but we'll get there. That's part of the fun. Another bit of a design challenge I'm going to have is transitioning this particular model tabletop to the plaster pieces. Quite an edge, even though I use my jigsaw at 45 degrees. Likely going to have to sand that. So to try to use some existing materials I have around here, old trusty joint compound here, I did lather up a sample piece with a 45-degree angle cut on top of a piece of styrofoam like I have over there. And it's quite gooey. Obviously, it's very thick on there. I'll probably have to give it a couple coats and do some sanding, but I'll see if that'll work for an effective transition from the wood to the styrofoam or to the plaster. The thought I'm But the thing I'm worried about is potentially a difference in paint. It may be absorbed differently between the plaster, the joint compound, and the wood. But that's why we do these tests.